Uba George B. Lingdo, MLA Jongko Umroy constituency Ulaong, baka sarkar kadai ban Pyndonkam deki Pulit ka Jylla ban kem ni ki breu ki bidan kti ban siat yap ki sangut ham Mukroh kabala jia ha ka arfu artarik une ubnai ham Mukroh. Uba George Ulaong ru yakani hadin balawai ka jingilang Jongko all party meeting kabala penyai da konrat ke sangma menteri rangba ha ka arfu pratarik ubnai naiwing arajar arfu ar. Uba George Ulaong baka sarkar kamdai ban up ya kacing tokit CBI bat kadai ban Pyndonkam deki Pulit ke Jylla namar baka Mukroh ka hap hapa uput usam jong ke Jylla. UMLA ula penken mauru ba UMLA ke moka yau uma nujor ki sungo ula kerpat ya ke sarkar nadu usnem arjar khat pra ban bo ya ke police outpost hagatai ke thany hayeng dorbar bat syabar ke yeng dorbar penban ke sarkar kalalek kuman ban bo ya ke ketem Pulit hagatai ke thany.
The crime has been committed on Meghalaya soil only. So it is a state subject. Why would the state run from pillar to post asking for inquiries? Why can't we use our own police force, our own judicial system that is there in the state to bring these criminals to book? That is the question. Now, we have seen time and again that this government has instituted many commission inquiries. But then what is the outcome? Nothing. No action has been taken. The latest report, the latest inquiry commission report pertaining to the shooting of late Cherisfield Thankeo, there it was one of the recommendations was that there should be action against those one of the teams. But then no action has been taken. So we think that the people are being taken for granted. So therefore we should act with the powers that we have. We have our state police, we have our judicial system in place, and since the crime has been committed on Meghalaya soil, why don't we use these powers that we have rather than running from crying to Delhi and crying to Guwahati for their help and assistance? If you take this instant case, the local MLA of Mukroh had been requesting for a police outpost right from 2018 on the floor of the house and outside the house as well. But then the government kept delaying it. Now other areas also, the government had ignored and kept this problem on the back burner, considering the fact that they were thinking that the BJP government, as we say, the double engine government, both in Meghalaya and Assam, they are on talking terms and at the same time having a good relation over the past few years. But then now somebody should also alert the government that the police officials working on the ground, they are totally uncontrollable from the Assam side, and they have been taxing the people from time and again. So therefore the government thinking that since Himanta Biswa had installed this government in 2018, maybe on that pretext and on that history, maybe the government feels that they should not assert itself too much, otherwise maybe Himanta may bring down this government as well. If the government has again failed to reassert its authority and jurisdiction and control over the areas that fall under this jurisdiction of Meghalaya, then the right of people to live there is being suppressed. And at the same time, the government has failed in its responsibility to act timely. As I had said, that people had come and alerted the government on time regarding the high-handedness of the Assam and also their use of force. And we also know that the police, Assam police, have been patrolling these areas for many a time. But then the government has, shirked away its responsibility. If this irresponsibility continues, I think they have lost not only the Chief Minister, but the entire cabinet has lost its moral responsibility to rule the state, and therefore either a new government should come, or in fact President's rule should also be imposed in the state, considering the fact that the government has lost its moral authority and its responsibility in governing the state. Past history, 57 incidents have already happened in the past 4 or 5 years. Now, what is alarming is that the people and the headmen of 5 villages had already met the state government officials, even met the Chief Minister himself in the past few months, and also alerted the government that the atrocities of Assam and their high-handedness have just kept increasing over the past few months. But then the government was silent. So talking to the local representative also, he said that just recently in the past few months, the shootout in Mulaber village, that was also a kind of indication that the government of Assam keeps on repeating its assertion over the area and high-handedness. So the government was ill prepared and they took the issue lightly. Seen that it has been nearly a week now since the incident has happened, and arrest warrants are still not yet issued, and the government has not asserted its presence and jurisdictional authority over that particular area. Considering that the crime has been committed on Meghalaya soil, that sends a very soft message to the people, and that the government is weak on its on asserting its administration and political authority. From the government side, they said that they'll be looking into all these demands that have been made by several parties, and there has been no assurance that action will be taken based on the demands made. So demanded that the state government should give some kind of alternative, some kind of employment to the next of kin, to the families of the bereaved, and care should be taken that all the other expenses that the families have borne, especially the ones who are injured, they should be taken care of. Along with the other parties, we have also put this point forward. So these are the three major points. But the fact is, we totally disagree with the government in the fact that clubbing this as an interstate boundary issue is not the purpose of this meeting. We wanted that this criminal act should be dealt with the sternness of actions from the state government side, and they should also ensure that they show their authority over this case. Otherwise, then it will weaken their point in further discussions on interstate boundary issues and in the interstate boundary settlement. If the state government does not act on now and show its authority over such areas, then perhaps it will be pushing the state government again on a back foot, and also the further discussions and communications that are going to have with the government of Assam in the years and the months to come. A very long discussion with the government, considering the fallout of the Mukroh incident. At the outset, we had strongly condemned the incident, and at the same time, we had put our point of views forward. One, the government had said that the two judicial inquiry commissions have been set up, one from the Assam side and one from the state government side. Now, we differed with the point because the judicial commission that has been set up by Assam, that in fact is exceeding its jurisdiction, because the incident had happened in Mukroh, which in fact falls under the jurisdiction of Meghalaya. That's number one. Number two, the judicial inquiry that is going to be set up by Meghalaya also. Now, how it will work on those people who fall under the control of Assam, especially the police, which are under the administrative control of Assam. So whether our judicial inquiry can cross beyond the borders of Meghalaya and work on people who are being under the control of Assam. So whether that judicial inquiry or whether its recommendations will work. So we express our doubts. That's number one. Number two, the state government had said that they're going to call for a CBI inquiry or a national investigation agency that will come and carry out the process. We don't know the timings. We don't know whether the central government has actually agreed to it or not, whether it's going to be a CBI inquiry or some other judicial inquiry. That also we don't know. So what we said was that, why don't we put our task force, our police into action? As we had said earlier also, we had demanded in front of the government that those culprits should be arrested, and arrest warrants should be immediately issued by the state police against those culprits, because it is a murder that has been committed on Meghalaya soil, and the state police should go against those culprits. This kind of violence, because it is not a communal issue. The issue is not a communal one. It's not Assamese versus Khasis and Khasis versus Assamese. It is not Jaintias versus Assamese or Assamese versus Jaintias. This is a total failure of administration and a total fact that the Assam government has extended excessive authority and used force to kill people on Meghalaya soil. That is the issue. So therefore, people should feel they are living in a fear psychosis. People feel that they are being denied of their rights because it is the government's failure to protect the citizens. Now, since the people have that sense of feeling that the government is unable to protect them, I'll give you one report that is coming from the ground. The police that are manning the stations in Police Bazaar area, they are telling the shopkeepers to shut down your shops because we have no guarantee of being able to protect you. Now, if the police are telling the citizens to shut down your shops, shut down your establishments because we don't have much manpower and authority to protect you, imagine the kind of fear with which people are living. Imagine the kind of these kind of rumors that will be building up across the state. So it just puts up more the kind of rumors that are spreading of the communal clash. This, in fact, the government has failed to address. In fact, both chief ministers should have ensured that this aspect should be totally erased from the minds of people, that it is a communal issue. But then so far that has been missing. And even though talks have been going on, it seems as reported by the government, talks have been going behind doors, but then they need to come outside and tell the people. But then, since they have not been able to address this issue, this rumor keeps spreading and people are still scared.
Imposition of Article 356.
That's what, if government again fails in this, I think we have lost faith in the government. Over the case, that we will leave to the CBI to judge whether it is going to take up the case or not. But then till that time happens, because we never know whether it's going to happen within a week, whether the CBI is going to agree within the next month. But then as we lose time, then we also lose faith on the system. Therefore, our task is that since we already have the police and also the judicial system within our own jurisdiction, why don't we use them? Why doesn't the state police issue an arrest warrant immediately to this police? So for the CBI and other agency to come, then that will leave it to the wisdom of government of India. And even though the state government has made that demand, but then why don't we use, our stand is, why don't we use the forces that we already have, the authority that we already have in our own grasp? That will at least put us in a stronger footing when we deal with this case. Otherwise then, there might be, we have a BJP government in Delhi, we have a BJP government in Assam. Do you expect justice? And now that we have a weak BJP government in Meghalaya, do we expect justice from a central agency? We have seen how central agencies have been used time and again for the political mandate of the BJP government in Delhi only. They have not been working for the benefit and interest of the people at large. So we don't have any such confidence in governments that are already of the same party in all three the centers. We talk Delhi or Guwahati and Shillong. So I don't see any kind of justice being meted out to the people.